day is on the way here today. We're going to give you a chance to win our free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm. We're going to, maybe we'll squeeze one in before 7 o'clock. I think we could do that. $100, $200, or $300 in cash on the line. Your chance to win is coming up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to preface this by saying this is a very terrible story, and I do not mean to be making light of a potentially bad story. However, we present a new segment entitled How to Take a Mugshot. And you simply go to our website at WIBX950.com, and it's right there before your very eyes. If you're ever in a position where you need to take a mugshot, you need to study the photo of the Cold Brook woman who was arrested and charged with aggravated DWI. She is innocent until proven guilty, folks. Do not forget this, but look at that photo.
Are you...
I'm saying that's how you take a it looks like a prom picture, for God's sakes.
You think that is the best way to take it? To me, it was more maybe...
I mean, I'm not sure that you want to be smiling based on that, but if that's the picture that's going to be out there, I guess you need to take the best photo that you can take, right? And the story is not a good story. A Cold Brook woman has been charged with aggravated DWI under Leandra's law for allegedly driving drunk with 2 children in the car. Obviously, that is terrible. If true, awful. State police say, and fortunately, the story ends without any terrible accident. State police say 29-year-old Adina Huxley had a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old in the car when the vehicle went off the road on O'Brien Road in Forestport. She was charged with endangering the welfare of a child. Troopers say she had a BAC of .13. She was arraigned in the town of Remsen Court and sent to Oneida County Jail on $500 bail. Again, I'm saying it's not easy to take those mugshots, but this is what I mean, because you're distraught. You want to be crying, but when you show that shot, it goes and it's plastered all over the place. It's on every newspaper, every website. There you are crying. Who wants that? So you kind of grab your composure, gain your composure, and you take a photo like that.
I have to say, I was kind of with you until I read about or heard you talk about what she was charged with. And then
it doesn't matter what she was charged with. The story's terrible. I said the story's bad.
I'm not,
you can't be driving drunk, period, let alone driving drunk with kids.
Right.
However, I don't know how on a charge like that you have. I can't do such a thing. If I were arrested, I think my mugshot would look really bad. I'm not saying I'd be crying, but chances are I'd look like Kelsey Grammer did or something. You remember how he looked? It was terrible. Anyway, it is what it is. The guy in Massachusetts got the first transplant of a sexual organ, a penis transplant, which is incredible when you think about it. Yeah. I kind of thought that John Wayne Bobbitt already went down that road.
No, but he had his own.
But that was a reattachment. And an interesting story out of Massachusetts. A 54-year-old guy you want to go back to that? Go ahead.
Or were you just in pain?
No, where... So
he's in Massachusetts. His name is Thomas Manning. He received the first ever penis transplant in the United States about a week ago.
So
this is doctor, I have audio on it. If not audio of the actual, this is the doctor talking about it. Now, listen, I realize there are plenty of jokes. You can have fun with a story like this. In reality, this is incredible when you think about it. For a person to be able to live a normal life, it's amazing. I know we have a lot of questions.
My question was this created in a test tube, or was this from a corpse? Was it donated? Where did they get the...
I don't know, but here's how he lost his organ. He was 64 years old, and he had cancer in 2012, so there had to be an amputation. Let's hear what the doctor has to say as Christine's looking up on the story.
So he's doing well so far. We spoke with him this morning. He's up and about, out of bed, and progressing cautiously and conservatively in his course, but we think he's on a path to recovery. He's emotionally doing amazing. I'm really impressed with how well he's handling things, and he's just a very positive person. We went through a pretty rigorous psychological screening and made sure his motivations for this transplant were appropriate, and in our view, they couldn't be more appropriate. He wants to be whole again. He wants to not be, as Dr. Coe said, in the shadows and about an injury such as this.
Well, I give the guy credit for going public, right? I'm not sure how much works, but I'm assuming this would play. When just going to the bathroom alone would be this would be a huge improvement, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to have a colostomy bag or something like that. I don't know.
I guess so. And in fact, a story the BBC reporting in their story about this, that in 2006, a Chinese man received the world's first transplant, but 2 weeks later decided to have it reversed. So I don't know if that was a transgender issue.
Oh,
No,
that's weird.
Maybe it was. I'd just be kind of weirded out to have another guy's right there as mine.
Versus not having one, though?
psychologically.
Yeah, listen. The guy is 60. He's young. He's 64 years old, which is young. He has a long life ahead of him. Clearly, this is the beginning of the future. If they can do this, imagine in 20 years, 10 years, what they'll be able to do. With breakthroughs in medicine. A guy in Kansas accidentally shot himself at a high school graduation on Sunday. He was carrying a gun in his sock. Tried to adjust it because it was a bit uncomfortable when the gun went off. Here's the 911 call.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Now-ish. We had a guy just discharge a firearm at graduation at the high school in Augusta.
You have a guy with a firearm?
He shot himself in the leg and there's another wounded.
That was Kansas, and it hit somebody else.
Hit a woman.
You just got to be thinking, I understand you're carrying, but aren't there certain precautions that when you're carrying a weapon in Texas, for instance, because everybody seems to carry in Texas, are they always loaded guns? I imagine they have a safety on or something. I don't know. Anyway, adjusting his sock where the gun was, of all places to put the gun, in your sock, the gun went off, and he shot himself and a woman. Christine with news. I gotta love it. Christine with news coming up. Hold tight, 6:31 at WIBX.